Lady Gaga is recreating the story of Adam and Eve by personifying God as a tempting friend on the dance floor. Let's get into this. I guess in order to decode this song, we need to first understand a little bit about the story of Adam and Eve. From what I'm gathering, there was a man named Adam and a woman named Eve who were created and instructed to live in the Garden of Eden and to partake of and enjoy everything that the garden had to offer except for the fruits of the tree of knowledge, or the tree of knowledge of good and evil. Everything in the garden was great, and Adam and Eve were frolicking in the creations until the serpent. What serpent, you might ask? Don't know. But a serpent seduced them into eating the fruit of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. And I don't know about you, but that story sounds to me like it is also coded. And we'll be analyzing this as if it were. I would suggest the story of Adam and Eve is not intended to be taken as a single event happening at the dawn of creation, but
is more a metaphor for the constant cycle of creation and destruction that's happening in any one given moment.
we start this out with go get your friends and meet me on the floor. You're out of candy, I can get you more, or. Okay, we're starting out strong here, painting a picture of someone who is at a club. Okay, Tabby. Someone else, another person, is instructing. We'll call the person that's at the club the main character. Someone is instructing the main character to gather their friends and come onto the dance floor. If then we're saying that the dance floor is a symbol for the Garden of Eden, the one who is giving the main character this command can be seen as having authority over them, or God itself donning the face of the serpent from the original story. If we're taking these lines literally, there is a person at the club who knows the main character is interested in having a good time. Candy is clearly some kind of drug, which we could say is a placeholder then for any substance we take or action we use in order to obtain a particular result that helps us feel better than we did previously. So candy, like drugs or scrolling, has a temporary high associated with it, which we ultimately come down from. The dealer clearly doesn't care and just wants to provide what the main character is looking for, which is seemingly a fun night. And then it says, you started snoring and I start to squeal. Gaga is exemplifying karma, or a law of cause and effect. As the candy is taken, there will be a reaction which occurs in the main character's direct experience. I'm assuming the one squealing is doing so in delight, and if I'm correct in my deduction that God took the shape of the serpent in the original story, it is in this one taking the shape of the dealer and is relishing in any manifestation, whether it is positive or negative. Maybe because it's just interested in seeing how things play out, or it already knows what's happening. Either way, um, doesn't really matter. But the main character is the one experiencing the result of the action and reaction. If this is the same figure that Gaga is personifying in her disease video, we can assume that she, or God, is a sadomasochist who gets pleasure from seeing the effects of her own creations. The next line is followed saying, I'm falling over in my 9-inch heels. The number 9 esoterically represents the divine feminine. Some say it's the number of completion or of God herself. Reading this lyric also made me think to myself, I don't know much about numerology, but I do wonder if 9 is actually the final number. Because when you look at the number 10, it's really just a combination of the numbers before it. But also, the line is just kind of cunty. She's just serving, as Mother does, 9-inch heels. And then we get the next line, come on and hit me, come on. And so hit the lights, come on and hit me, come on. DJ, hit the lights. This is furthering my belief that this is code for the divine feminine, because in another way of saying the divine feminine is to say the blackness or the darkness, which would also make sense then why Gaga in the cover of the album is like a refracted mirror image and she's wearing all black. Um, it's an album about self-discovery or discovering the higher version of oneself or God or the spirits or whatever you might call that in your um, life. So the blackness hitting the lights is synonymous with the unknown. It's in the case of the club scene, like in the metaphor, literally speaking, the DJ turning off the lights lets her kind of get loose and be present in the dance floor. But the thing is that she's under the influence of this candy, so she's not completely present. Okay, I'm trailing off a little bit here, but I hope you get the point. And this Tabby, this senile old lady. Please, I hope she's not too loud in the mic. Maybe we'll just have an ASMR kitty. Okay, anyway. I could be your girlfriend for the weekend. You could be my boyfriend for the night. My excuse to make a bad decision. Body's getting close under the light. She's currently in my face and in the eye that is referring that is the eye that is speaking here, I believe, is still God or the serpent that is whispering in the main character's ear. So essentially, in the metaphor that Gaga's painting, the voice that she's hearing isn't actually another person. It is the voice of God or the serpent trying to lure her into making a bad decision. But the thing is that this bad decision is actually in Gaga's best interest or the main character's best interest, but she herself doesn't realize that. Uh, so anyway, body's getting close under the lights. It's easy to fall prey to lust. We think or we believe that we will get some sort of benefit or high or kick out of doing the thing that is bad, even though we know that ultimately we'll end up in the same or worse position that we were starting with. But the prospect of bodies getting close under the lights is just too delicious. And gotta fill that hole, right? Next line we have, oh, I've been feeling this familiar feeling like I've known you my whole life. Now, this line is also interesting because she could be talking about feeling that she gets when she takes the candy is essentially trying to fill a void that she has in her heart. And because she can't fill the void in her heart, she just keeps ending up back with the same feeling each night and repeating the same cycles. And then we get into the line, I'll take you to the Garden of Eden. Poison apple, take a bite. Here it's clear that the spirit or God or the serpent has been leading Gaga or the main character into the Garden of Eden where she can make a decision. Does she attempt to fill the void inside her heart with the candy, or does she recognize that the only way to ever feel whole is to go inward? Oh, and also, I guess I'll add that in too. The I being referred to here, you could also say is the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind is essentially leading her to a pathway where she herself can use her free will, so to speak. Okay, and then we get into the next verse where she says, you're turning green from the adrenaline. This chick's a machine, but her friend is way more fun. But you can hear her with the music on. So you say yes, and then the party's on. This line is sickening. So you're turning green from the adrenaline. Green is the color of the heart chakra. There's an aspect of her that's loving the adrenaline that's coursing through her veins, but also because of the word adrenaline, it leads me to believe that she is, and again, I mean, I'm not a doctor, I don't know, but adrenaline might be something that is released when we're under a type of stress. So this line is really cool because it's actually speaking to the noise that we fill our lives with when we feel empty inside. We need something to kind of fill the noise because we are too fearful of looking inward. It's almost like a given, you know, if I don't feel fulfilled and you come along and you ask me and you give me something that's going to make me feel better, I mean, I'd be pretty dumb to say no to that, right? Like, the effects that we get from the candy or from the dance floor is temporary. All of this is a temporary felt state that we won't keep whenever the party's over. The poison apple is still an apple. It may be harmful in the body, but the thing is, there's still a part of you that enjoys it or that gets some sort of nutrition out of it. Because the funny thing is, right, with the story of Adam and Eve, with the story of the Garden of Eden, God is the one that places Adam and Eve in the garden. So he would have, or he, I'm saying he, I mean, this is, I feel like, mostly a Christian thing, but God, herself, themself, whatever you call God, universe, source, knew that Adam and Eve were going to take of the poison apple anyway. Otherwise, why would it be there? So it's playing out with the idea of a sense of control. Like, do we as humans actually have free will in the sense that the decisions that we make are from a almost what sometimes seems like a pre-designated selection? I mean, by way of your unconscious or conscious creation. So that's pretty cool. We get back into the same bridge, so hit the lights. Come on and hit me, come on. Oh, this bridge is nasty. Gaga is nasty. Oh, it's nasty.